Hello, my dear friend. Today, I want to talk to you about how loved you are. Today is day 9 of the self love and emotional healing journey that I've developed. And I actually did think that it had a different message, but this is the one that just has to be spoken today. You are so loved. We are so loved. The thing is that we've been taught, most of us, all of our lives from different sources, and maybe not from every source around you, that love is merit based somehow. That somehow love has to do with how pretty you are, or how attentive you are, or making other people happy, or how smart you are, or how good your grades are, or, and that's not to say that everyone has received those messages, but heaven knows that marketing is all about how we're not good enough. All of the advertising that we hear is about how we'll be happier if we'll buy a particular product, whether that's a physical product, a mug, a cup of tea, a certain deodorant, a certain razor, a certain program, a certain way of believing, a certain religion. Heaven knows that religion has played a huge part in telling us that we're not good enough. So I have been avoiding this message. I have been avoiding recording and sharing this message. And I know that it's time. You see, I spent 50 years of my life in and out of the church. I spent a lot of time in leadership in Christianity. I spent a lot of time crying tears. I spent so much time repenting and being sorry for not being good, a good Christian, for just all of the things. And I spent years and tears crying about my life, asking for it to be different. I spent years focused on how the church wasn't loving people correctly, how we needed to do better, how we were judging people, and that was all that I saw. And I tried from within the church to make a difference and to help people see how judgmental and how much hypocrisy they were holding. And it wasn't until I finally let go of all of that and my identity as a Christian, having that be who I was and who I was becoming and who I was desiring to be, and the authoritarianism, because I got more and more into it. Because if you can't agree with the thing, if you're not having the results you want, then you recommit and you commit more and more, right? And I did that. And I did that in faith that if I would just get committed enough and learn enough and do enough and say the right words enough, that I'd feel good and I'd be okay and I don't even want to get into the whole salvation thing today. The thing is that along the way, I fully believe that Christianity, and that's really the only one I can speak to from personal experience, has really lost its way. Because what I have come to know without a shadow of a doubt, now that I no longer require myself to hold the beliefs that Christianity espouses and spews, especially in today's world. Now that I have let go of the authoritarianism, that it has to be this way, and that you're bad or wrong unless you do this or that. I no longer place my value in how well I'm following the rules or believing what other people think I ought to believe. And I have had personal experience of changing my beliefs and opening my mind to not be afraid of all of the things that I was taught to be afraid of. And here I have found love. And I want to explain to you as best I can in a few moments just how loved you are. Excuse me for a moment. And I'm not going to edit it out because I haven't learned those skills yet. I'm sorry. Hang with me. So you see, the thing that Christianity has lost sight of in their attempt to make it the Bible in the first place, and to make the stories understandable, is that they have lost the truth, the fundamental truths, that God is everything, that we are an expression of God, that everything comes from one source, that we are all connected to one another, that we are all expressions of one another, that we are perfect exactly the way we are. And I'm not getting into a scriptural fighting match with anybody. This is not the place for that. I've been in that environment, and I'm not getting dragged back into it, and I'm not trying to drag anybody into it. If anything, I want to create a platform, a space where we can unlearn the old stuff and relearn the good stuff, because, my friends, I've had the experience of dying. I've had the experience of choosing. I've had the experience of understanding, feeling, experiencing, knowing without a shadow of a doubt that I am a part of love, and that everything that exists is love. That this experience that we are having as human beings is an expression of love, because we are greater than this experience of being humans in this human body, because we are spirits who have chosen to have a physical experience of being a human in this human body. And that when this human body reaches its end, that we ourselves, the energy, the soul, the being of who we are, the intention of who we are, is already and always has been so much greater than we are experiencing ourselves in this human body. And when this human body is complete, that we re-enter our state of being all that we are, and that all things come from this state of energy, and all things return to this state of energy without form. And from there, we experience ourselves in a different way. A way without form, a way without senses, a way without time, a way without emotions the way that we as humans understand them and experience them. because we are energy and we are without form. And so it is that I have come to understand, and I desire so much for you to have a glimpse of the truth, that the stories that we tell ourselves, about our lives, about our past, about our parents, about the traumas that we've experienced, about the loves that we've experienced, the stories that we tell ourselves are our way of making sense of the experiences that we have had, the energy that we felt, the way that our senses have interact with this world, this way of being, this life that we're living. But they are stories. They are stories that we tell ourselves to justify the experiences that we have had or that we desire to have. They're stories to make sense of the experience. And with that, we have been taught, we have learned, we have been trained and programmed to have judgments about all of those experiences. Good, bad, happy, sad, beautiful, ugly, pure, filthy. But from the eternal perspective, there is no judgment. There is only love. It is all beautiful. It is all magical. And I know that shit happens. Excuse my words, but I know that it's not all fun. I know that it's not all pleasant. Trust me, I know. I understand. I know that hearing that it's all good and it's all love is hard some days. And there are things that we can all look at in our lives, and if we, by grace of something, the energy that we were born into, the parents that we had, the choices that we made before we became this person that we are, maybe we haven't personally had traumatic experiences, but good heavens, everyone has been exposed to them. Everyone. There have been so many tragedies in my lifetime, and social media and the internet and cell phones allow us all to be exposed to all of the traumas and tragedies in the world on a daily basis. And those traumas and tragedies are real experiences. And I know that it takes mind-bending skills to think that somehow that is love, and I understand that. And I believe that is essentially because we have been not taught just how eternal we are and the bigger scope of what this experience is about. And that is changing. The old institutions are losing their hold. It's the beliefs that we have been taught are being shown to be incomplete by the new science and technology that we have. And it is rocking the world. And people are holding on for dear life to the old beliefs and the old ways of being that are judgmental and say right or wrong, this or that, true or untrue. And it must be this way. And your value has to do with how well you follow the rules. And it is scary to think that we get to choose how we perceive everything. And how we choose to perceive every experience determines how we feel And we determine our own worth and value of ourselves and our lives and of those around us. We determine how to experience the traumas and tragedies of our lives and the blessings and joy of our lives. And what I can tell you is that I lived so much of my life depressed, trying to get it good enough, myself good enough, my faith good enough to be happy. Because I thought there was only one go around in this life. And I thought that I wasn't good enough. No matter how good I was, that I wasn't good enough. And I finally understand the bigger truth in the bigger picture. And as much as I would rather stay under my little rock, my little blankie, curled up in my little hole, trying to do my best to make money, because that's what success is in this culture, I can't do that anymore. Because, excuse me, because you deserve to know how much you are loved and that you are loved. You deserve to know. And I can't convince you. All I can do is share my story and share this truth with you and invite you to listen, invite you to open your mind, invite you to question the beliefs that you have held about yourself, about life, and about the world as you've experienced it. All I can do is invite you to change your mind. And then I can share the tools that I've learned that have helped me change my being, because I am not that person anymore. I know that I am loved, and I know that the greatest gift I can give myself and anyone else, the greatest gift I can give the world, is to love being alive and to love my life and to love being me and to know that it's all an expression of love. And does that mean I behave in beautiful ways all of the time? I wish it did. I'm still a human being, having a human experience in a human body. And there's chronology, there's time involved. And I change, and you change, and we change. And it's all love. It's all love. All of it. All of it. And this is my story. This is my gift. This is what I have to offer. And I pray that you find more and more love for yourself and for your life on this journey. And I am honored to share it with you. And this is the word for the day. It's all love, my friends. Blessings. Namaste. Yeah, it's the other button. I gotta love the outtakes, right?